For day 14, this is again x factoring, but in this case, all of these problems I'm going to give you, there's a number here in front of x squared that it's bigger than 1. And when it's bigger than 1, we have to do something called x factor with bottoms up. So our process is very similar with like an extra step in there. So the first step is take the first number times the last number. 5 times 2 gives me 10. And I'm trying to get to 11. The factors of 10 are 1 times 10 and 2 times 5. Which pair can add or subtract to make 11? 1 and 10. And so normally at this point, you write this in factored form and you are done. But if we check this, x times x is not 5x squared. 1 times 10 is 10. It's not 2. So we're not done. So what we do is we have to divide by the first number, 5. And we ask ourselves, can we divide? We cannot. We cannot get a whole number here. So we bring the bottom number up. So that would be 5x plus 1. Then we divide, if we can, which we can. 10 divided by 5 does make 2. So now if I were to check 5x times x, I do get back to 5x squared. 1 times 2 gives me back to 2. So I know I would multiply this, I would get the correct answer. Part B, I take the first number times the last number, which gives me 3 times negative 15, negative 45. My goal is to try to get the middle number, 4. So if we look at the factor sheet at 45, we would have 1 times 45, 3 times 15, and 5 times 9. So which pair of factors can make a 4 by adding or subtracting? It would have to be 5 and 9. And in order to make this work to get a positive 4, my 5 has to be negative. Okay, bigger number is 9. This matches the same sign as 4, plus this side has to match. So we would have x minus 5, x plus 9. Then we look at that first number and we divide by that number. Well, can you divide? No. So you bring the bottom number up. So 3x minus 5. Here I divide, because I can, and I get plus 3. Okay, letter C. We see the number here in front of x squared is bigger than 1, so this is bottoms up. We go 2 times negative 24, that's negative 48. Then we're trying to get to the middle number, negative 13. So let's look at our factor sheet at 48. We have 1 times 48, 2 times 24, 3 and 16, 4 and 12, 6 and 8. So which one of these pairs could make a negative 13? 3 and 16. But we want to make sure that this side of our x factor matches signs. So 3 minus 16 is negative 13. If I multiply, I do get a negative 48. So I write it in factored form. I see that my first number is a 2, so I divide by 2. Can I divide? I cannot, so I bring the bottom number up. Here I can divide, so I have x minus, and that becomes 8.